And I want to share something. I spent a lot of years of my life before I went on talk radio writing a newsletter. And what I used to read then, and I haven't for 2 decades now, probably Jane's Defense Weekly. I read all the Jane's publications. So I used to know weapon systems. I don't know them like I used to, because quite candidly, that's not where God has directed my life and ministry. But I can tell you this, I still know enough of what's going on in the world in that realm to tell you this. This is not to just take out ISIS. This is to deal with anybody who would challenge their position, i.e. the United States. In effect, NATO is already finished. Let me make that clear. NATO is already finished. I'm not the equivalent of Tokyo Rose. All I'm saying is this. Germany is making secret deals behind the scenes with the Russians. Who would you rather have as an ally, the United States of America or a leader like Vladimir Putin, who at least is standing with Russian Orthodox ministers saying that he is the last defense of Western Christianity against basically a pogrom against Christians?
That's scary.
Where is the mainstream media? Those cowardly hot vomit pukes, those disgusting baptized in the volcanic sulfur of hell, standing up, speaking out against Christians. Hey, the only guy that's really doing it, and I got to say, God bless him, is Franklin Graham. You know, again, can I say something? Why should, and this is a question, okay? And my source said to me, I'll let you decide, Steve. I said to him, my brother, what good is it to post alerts anymore, okay? And I'll just announce it tonight. I'm absolutely fighting with the idea. I don't want anybody else who's braver than brave, that's a man of God, that, you know, you'd give God glory and praise to have somebody like that teach you and influence your life, and putting his life, who, by the way, he has a wife and kids, on the line. And what is it, Doug, that propels you, Joe, me, Pastor Langford, other people, you know? And by the way, I want to say something. You know, I get emails. People break fellowship with me. They call me every kind of name. I'm a Jew lover. I'm a this. I'm a that. I'm a CIA guy, and that's funny because that's really funny. I've been accused of everything, and I wonder, I said, crap, if half that stuff were true, I'd be a really interesting guy, you know? Instead of having 5 grandkids, 5 kids, you know, I mean, look, the bottom line is this, is that I'm having a dilemma. World War III is unfolding. We just had the false prophet Pope, who is the biggest, most wretched denier of Jesus Christ. Now, don't get mad at me, Catholics, because I've never said this about any other Pope. We have the murder of Malachi Martin. We've got 2 groups of Catholics, those that believe he knew what he was talking about, those who don't. And by the way, those who don't are still alive. Those who do basically got to even say that in secret now. We've got the war in the Middle East, and one of the, I'll call it the Torgama card, Turkey playing out, where Erdogan is on record less than 2 years ago saying he's going to establish the Ottoman Empire again. We've got Turkish planes encountering Russian planes, everybody's encountering everybody. When is the button going to be pressed? I don't know the answer to that. But I will tell you this, to every one of you that's ever sent a real piece of information, God bless each and every one of you. To every one of you that basically is still having to use pseudonyms, like I had one guy say, I don't believe Seal Man's a real SEAL. Yeah, well, I got pictures of him being trained, and I got enough validation and verification. And by the way, that was just a pissant. And I'm going to use that word. It worked for Gene Scott. It'll work for me. Why is it that people who are fighting to help people save their lives, and I want to share something. Alex has been and I'm coming to his defense, okay? I don't endorse everything he says any more than he endorses everything I say. But to take the crap he's taken and to speak the truth and to even be, if you will, the poster child for Matt Drudge telling that a Supreme Court justice said, our days are numbered, Doug. Your days, my days, Alex days. Anybody who does any linking to any website is basically in the sights of these people. There is no freedom of speech any longer in this country. And when you read, and I didn't even post one of my bits of intel today. I'll probably read it on the air tonight. But here's where I'm at, okay? Unless God gives me peace tonight, I'm not posting any more alerts. I'll go ahead and post the stories and everything because, quite candidly, I am so fed up with the cowardice. I'm fed up, and somebody says, well, you shouldn't let them bother you. You stand 5 minutes in the kitchen before you talk to me about brewing 25 years in the furnace. The bottom line is that the cowardice, the lack of testicles, the reason that I guess this will interrupt my rant, but the reason people can't pass, especially men, the end-time quizzicals is because they've lost their testicles, okay? And everyone is so, and I'm responsible for that statement, not Doug or Joe, everyone is so preoccupied with the mundane and the moronic, okay? Everyone who's sitting watching the football games, the basketball games, all the spectator sports, and wondering, gee, what happened to our country? We've knocked out foreign troops here. And, oh, yeah, on Jade Helm, let me say this to all you critics. None of that stuff ever went back to where it came from. Let me make it real easy. The United Nations, the TPP, all of everything that's going on is to make war against the white, yes, white, American, Christian, gun owner, constitutionals, and not just white. Look at the way Ben Carson's being attacked by the National Enquirer. You know, it's not just a matter of color, but it's a matter of freedom. Yet the civil war that's brewing is getting ready to take off, and when that goes into full-scale effect in the middle of the country, like Dimitri Duduman, if you think I'm making this stuff up, go to DUDUMAN and take a look at it. I talked to an LDS, shared emails with an LDS guy, and he says, believe me, Steve, we understand we're in the sights. You know, two people you probably could ask, do they trust the government or the Native Americans? The answer is no, or the Mormon Church, the answer is no. For the record, I'm not a Mormon. For the record, I don't agree with their theology, but I admire their family stance, and I admire the fact that when the Mormon Church did not bend or bow to a presidential visit to get them to accept the gay lifestyle. They didn't, you know. So let me share this, Doug. We have a breath away. I don't know when the breath is going to be breathed. The issues that are confronting this nation now are so beyond most people's comprehension. The mind of man, as the angel told Dimitri Duduman, cannot even embrace the level of debauchery and butchery, okay? And look at how the desensitization. We've got our brothers and sisters being beheaded saying, help me, Jesus. And we've got the West Church saying, there's no help for you. You know, trust Jesus. We're not going to help you, except there are exceptions to what I'm saying. There are men and women laying down their life, fighting with the Peshmerga and the Kurds and others over there, doing everything they can do. We've got brave guys on our border, you know, and we've got all this taking place. And yet, again, beyond the burp and the breaking of wind are the only noises that seem to be voices that are being raised about our brethren and sisters being slaughtered. And I got to tell you, Doug, this got to me